Wrestling fans, the tide is high and the time is now. Season 12 kicks off in just 2 days' time. This Saturday night, 7 p.m. bell time at the Goodwill Fire Company in Reading, Pennsylvania. Now, season 11, of course, in some ways left us with more questions than answers. We went back and we found out that Archibald Peck was masquerading around as the mysterious and handsome stranger all along, but is he done with Mr. Touchdown? I believe not. They met twice throughout season 11, both disqualification finishes. Now, this went back almost an entire year. Well, this Saturday night in Reading, in your main event, it will be no disqualification and there must be a winner. Non-title action. This one's personal, folks, as Mr. Touchdown one-on-one once again with Archibald Peck. Another big story of season 11, the ever brash and arrogant Young Bucks absconded with our own Campeonatos de Parejas, and they've been hanging out with Ring of Honor World Champion, the ever antagonistic Kevin Steen. Well, it seems like it might be time for those Ring of Honor boys to get their comeuppance. Chikara's finest, 3 of Chikara's finest. You have the #1 contenders to those Campeones 3.0. You have Gran Akuma, who's been here since year #1. 3-on-3 trios action, as only Chikara can deliver. 3.0 in Akuma to meet Steen and the Bucks this Saturday night in Reading. Of course, definitely one of the biggest stories in all of season 11 was Wink Vavasaur putting his hands, everything, putting his fingerprints and mucking with all the affiliations and partnerships. Now, some of this may have been on his accord, some of it may have been on their own accord. Jigsaw and the Shard, as a result of all this, have decided to team up, and you're going to see them as a tag team for the first time, meeting Icarus and Sugar Dunkerton Saturday night in Reading. But Wink wasn't done there. Of course, how about the story of the Ants, the colony, the swarm? It all exploded in a big tag match at Under the Hood. When we left Philadelphia, when we left the Trocadero, we saw FireANT and GreenANT leaving SoulJan alone, and it appears as if they were leaving and accepting assailANT. Well, FireANT, GreenANT, and assailANT, that's Vavasaur's version of the colony, are standing by. Perhaps they can shed some light on this ant action.
The Colony versus Fist, the longest running feud in Chikara history. And on February 10th in Easton, Pennsylvania, we're going at it one more time. Trios action. And even though we got a different look this time.
No! The new and improved Colony. Bigger, better. Yeah! FireANT, GreenANT, the Big Blue Bruiser, assailANT, Fist. February 10th, when we get down to Easton, you will be prepared for a world of hurts.
Well, we now know where FireANT, GreenANT, and assailANT stand as far as the season premiere weekend, but the question beckons, what about SoulJan? How does SoulJan feel? Where does SoulJan stand? These questions will be answered this weekend at the season premiere. Also on tap in Reading this Saturday night, Fright Baron Ophidian one-on-one. You're going to see GreenANT to meet Grand Champ Eddie Kingston in non-title action for the first time ever. The yumminess of the ice creams to meet up with the yuckiness of the Batiri, as well as, if you can believe this, first time ever, 2 of the most decorated stars of all time here in Chikara, 2 of the finest professional wrestlers in the whole world. Both these guys, former Kings Trios, both former co-holders of the Campeonatos de Parejas, both former Young Lions Cup holders, as Hollow Wicked of the Spectral Envoy to meet up with the Kentucky gentleman Chuck Taylor. But from there, just 21 hours later, Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. bell time, Easton, Pennsylvania, the Funplex, as our season premiere weekend continues. I mentioned earlier the Campeonatos de Parejas. Well, you better believe they will be defended in the main event this Sunday afternoon in Easton. The Young Bucks, our current champions, have been exuding arrogance ever since they won those belts back in Philadelphia at Chikarasaurus Rex. Well, they just might have their work cut out for them as #1 contenders and former champions 3.0. They might be challengers, but they don't claim to be models.
It's just days away. Days away and the stage is set. It's only days away until we roll into Easton, Pennsylvania. It's only days away until we take on you, the Young Bucks, and it's only days away until we and Chikara as a whole go back to the promised land.
You see, but this time around, Daddy, we didn't want to leave anything to chance. So you know what we did? We put in the call, Daddy, all the way down to Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Cocoa Beach, Florida.
That's right. We called a man who knows a little thing about tag team wrestling. We're talking former WWF Tag Team Champion. We're talking about a former AWA World Heavyweight Champion, Daddy.
But
and
more
importantly,
say it, a man who knows a thing or two about the Boston Crab,
That's
ladies
right,
and
Daddy.
gentlemen, Rick Martel.
Hey, all right.
Look at this, the bottom, Daddy. We're talking about Rick Martel.
Beautiful man.
You guys are pumped up. I love it. I love that energy. Yes. Oh, man. So these guys, when they came up to me and asked me about the Boston Crab, asked me a few tricks of the trade, I said, yes. I watched these guys. I went around and asked about these guys. I wanted to know who am I talking to. And I found out. And man, I have a lot of respect for you guys. Yes, 3.0. Yes. Oh, man.
I thank you. With the help of our friend Rick Martel, there is no way that we will not go back to the promise.
And you guys don't forget arrogance. It's not just a fragrance. It's a way of life.
Wait,
Can we get a free bottle?
Of course.
Thank you, Rick.
And if you can help us with one more thing,
yes.
the way we usually finish these things is with a little word. You look straight into the camera and you say, could you do that for me?
Of course I can. Booyah.
Beautiful, beautiful, yeah!
What are you gonna do about it?
But that won't be the only championship encounter this Sunday afternoon in Easton, Pennsylvania. Way back in season 11, we intended to deliver this Young Lions Cup title match, but injuries sidelined our own intergalactic luchador, while season 11's loss is season 12 premiere's gain this Sunday afternoon. Mr. Touchdown Mark Angelo Setti, if he survives his no disqualification match with Archibald Peck in Reading, he will make his third defense of the Young Lions Cup against our own intergalactic luchadora, Saturine, who looks to leave Easton as the first ever Young Lioness Cup holder. How about trios action? You have Jigsaw on one side. This is a guy, he used to be king of trios with Mike Quackenbush. They used to be Campeones de Parejas together. Well, now he won't even give Mike the time of day. He's gone so far to go out and team with two Wrestle Factory rejects in the Shard and Deviant. Well, they're going to meet up with the trio of the Master of 1,000 Holds himself, Mike Quackenbush, and two of his most prized proteges, two former Young Lions Cup champions, Hollow Wicked and Frightmare. 3-on-3, Team Frightening to meet Jigsaw, the Shard, and Deviant this Sunday afternoon in Easton. Easton, did I say Kingston? I almost said Kingston because back in season 11, our grand champ Eddie Kingston encountered Ring of Honor World Champion Kevin Steen 3 different times. Well, these outcomes did not satisfy the cravings of neither Kingston or Steen. The ink's dry on the contract's final encounter. Kingston and Steen one last time. This Sunday afternoon, the battleground will be the Funplex in Easton, Pennsylvania. This and so much more in Easton. A season premiere weekend like no other. So much going on. Tim Donst and Jacob Henmeyer have requested some time in Reading. You know that the Overlord Ultra Mantis Black is going to be in the house all weekend. You know that we saw Amasis back at Under the Hood back in Philadelphia. Will he resurface? Will he show himself this weekend at the season premiere in Reading and Easton? There's only one way to find out. Be there live. Go to CHIKARAPro.com right now. Ensure your spot. Seating is limited in both Reading and Easton. Make sure you can sit in the front row. Make sure you can sit at reserved ringside. Tickets will be on sale just until tomorrow night. After that, you're going to take your chances at the door this Saturday night, 7 p.m. bell time in Reading. This Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m., Easton, Pennsylvania, the Funplex. It's season 12, it's premiering, and we hope to see you there.